All right, let's just get right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer. Now, we're going to be looking at a pretty sobering piece of history today. Specifically, we're examining an event that our sources actually call one of the most disturbing examples of amusement park negligence ever recorded in the US. It's definitely a tough subject to talk about, but understanding exactly how and why these systems fail is absolutely crucial.
So, 168, that's the height in feet of the water slide we're looking at. And just to put that into perspective for a second, that is literally taller than Niagara Falls, right? It's huge. This massive structure was built at the Schlitterbahn Waterpark in Kansas City, Kansas. And, well, at the time, it proudly held the title of the world's tallest water slide.
And because of that massive drop, you get this next number, 70. Riders were propelled down this towering structure at terrifying speeds. We're talking up to 70 miles per hour. Just imagine that kind of velocity on an exposed water slide. It was aggressively marketed as this record-breaking thrill ride, basically a spectacle designed to push the absolute limits of what a water park attraction could even be. And the name they went with for this monster? Verrückt. It's a German word, and it literally translates to insane. What's really wild here is how perfectly that name captured their whole marketing strategy. They wanted to sell you the ultimate, most insane thrill on the planet. But as you'll see in a minute, that pursuit of insanity ended up crossing a very real, very dangerous line. Which brings us to our next section, warning signs ignored. Okay, so publicly, the park was aggressively rushing this whole project to completion, specifically so they could feature it on a reality TV show called Extreme Water Parks. They were chasing the fame, but internally, the reality was that the physics were flat out failing. We're talking internal emails revealing direct warnings about a total lack of proper engineering oversight. And honestly, what's even worse is that investigators later found out riders had actually complained about the rafts lifting off the slide even before the tragedy, so the warning bells were definitely ringing loud and clear behind closed doors. And the absolute core of the issue is this: Verrückt was designed entirely without qualified engineers. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. A 168-foot structure, sending people down at 70 miles per hour, moved forward with zero oversight from properly credentialed engineering professionals. It was a massive systemic failure, basically just a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. And that leads us to the section we have to talk about, the tragic incident. The date was August 7th, 2016. The park was actually hosting a special day for state legislators and their families. Among the people there was Kansas Representative Scott Schwab, who was just visiting the park with his family, including his 10-year-old son, Caleb. By all accounts, it was supposed to be a completely normal, fun family day. So Caleb boarded a 3-person raft. He took the front seat next to 2 adult women he didn't know. Now, these rafts were supposed to stay glued to the slide using a mix of seatbelts and overhead safety nets. But here's the horrific sequence of physical failures that actually played out. First, as the raft went down, the sheer speed combined with the weight dynamics caused it to go entirely airborne right as it crested the second hump. It lifted completely off the fiberglass. Then, step 2, that airborne raft collided violently with the overhead safety netting and the heavy metal support hoops that were holding the net up. The impact of that collision was just absolute devastation. Caleb Schwab was decapitated instantly. The 2 adult women in the raft with him did survive, but they suffered severe facial and bone injuries. It's a really dark, solemn reality to confront, but we have to state these facts clearly to really grasp the true human cost of all this negligence. Now let's look at the legal and financial fallout. What followed was a super complex web of accountability. First, Schlitterbahn executives faced some really severe criminal charges, stuff like second-degree murder and negligence. But surprisingly, most of those were actually dropped in the end due to insufficient evidence. Meanwhile, Caleb's family filed a civil lawsuit against the multiple parties involved in building and running the ride. That resulted in a settlement of over $20 million. As for the Verrückt slide itself, it faced an immediate shutdown and a very rigorous safety investigation. Which naturally leads us to the timeline for the structure itself. So in 2016, right after the tragedy, Verrückt was immediately shut down, but it actually just stood there in the park as this grim reminder for a couple of years. Finally, in 2018, the ride was permanently dismantled. They completely erased it from the Kansas City skyline. Wrapping things up, let's discuss a legacy of negligence. Our source material sums up the whole ordeal with this really powerful statement. They call it, quote, one of the most disturbing examples of amusement park negligence ever reported in the United States. And honestly, that perfectly illustrates why we're doing this explainer today. You know, this wasn't just some freak, unpredictable accident. This case exposed a shocking, completely systemic disregard for basic safety testing. It showed us exactly what happens when marketing hype and reality TV fame are prioritized over, well, the actual laws of physics and human life.
So, I want to leave you with a final thought today. When the relentless pursuit of thrills outpaces basic engineering, who actually pays the ultimate price? It's a really deep question about accountability, about unchecked corporate ambition, and of course, the absolute necessity of strict safety regulations in the places where we literally take our families for fun. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep demanding safety out there, and I'll catch you next time.